The floor now goes to the President of the Socialists and Democrat Group.
Presidenta von der Leyen.
Thank you very much indeed, President von der Leyen, honourable members. We're here to discuss the state of our union. It's a time for an exact diagnosis in order to come up with the correct treatment. Clearly, the state of the union is not good. The pandemic has shaken us profoundly in an unpredictable way, and the COVID pandemic has also brought to light many of the issues that had been festering for a long time. Migration, for example, and we saw the shameful situation in Moria, the incomplete monetary union which shook the euro. We're seeing some things where we did get it right. The response to this crisis will not be along the lines of what happened in 2008. We are centering it around people and solidarity, not austerity, not in macro conditionality. That is your first address, Ms. von der Leyen, and I thank you warmly for the efforts that you're making to address this Parliament, include this Parliament. Months ago, we wouldn't have had an idea of what was coming our way. We've got the digital transformation. On top of this, health, social and economic impacts of COVID-19. And all of this is happening in a context of great uncertainty. If we don't rise to this challenge, we will be feeding anti-European rhetoric and giving them strength. So let us also think about the conference on the future of Europe, but we cannot sit back and wait for the outcome of this. Europe wants an answer now, and we cannot disappoint European citizens now. I talked about own resources and financial transaction tax, for example. We cannot allow tax revenue and the main burden to fall on workers and not on major financial transactions and speculators. There are other proposals that we need to discuss, of course, but let us debate them, let us discuss them. It's only in this way that we will be able to invest in ecological transition and social inclusion without leaving anyone behind. Now is the time to invest in a resilient Europe, one that will allow us to be strategically strong. I'm pleased that we're going to see the new 2030 target of at least 55%. We've been calling for this for a long time in our group, but let us not forget that people are part of this transition. So we need a strategy to counter poverty, including child poverty and including minimum wage. We've seen the proposal for a minimum wage, which we hope will move forward. We need economic governance now. We need to suspend the Growth and Stability Pact, which was done, and that's a correct decision. This crisis threatens our societies. It can cause devastating crises. We need to defend our identity that we can be proud of. We need to defend and protect our cultural sector, which has been suffered terrible, punishing situations. And so when you talked about integration, you talked about a European Bauhaus. Well, I will propose that we set up a European cultural voucher, one that will allow young people to coordinate in Europe amongst member states to strengthen Europe's cultural fabric and make our cultural sector strong and resilient. Honourable members, there's something that must be said very frankly and openly. We have an alarming, worrying situation when it comes to the rule of law in certain member states. It's not enough to simply call it out. There must be real consequences. There cannot be democracy without an independent judiciary. And it's not acceptable for areas of Europe to declare LGBTI-free zones. It's very dangerous. Let us start the procedure right now to launch a rule of law mechanism. Now, I said at the start of my speech that the state of the Union is not good. I'll say, too, that I cannot think of any other part of the world where I would rather live right now. We have capacity, we have values and institutions that are able to counter the challenges that we face. I will not sit back. I will not give up. Young people hold high expectations of us. Let us not disappoint them.
Grazie.
Thank you very much.